I've noted some differences between the 1999 and 2011 versions of the anime for the Yorknew City Phantom Troop arc. Right after the end of the Heaven's Arena arc, we get the start of Kurapika's training with Izanagi, learning about Nen. This is extended considerably in the 1999 version, as 2011 version rushes through it very quickly. And the 1999 version just adds a bit more meaning, even though the content is pretty much exactly the same. After that, the 1999 version adds this train heist scene where just this padding episode where Kurapika stops these people from robbing a train, and Melody is coincidentally there as well. And there's just a lot of nice little dialogue of them meeting and chatting on the train before they actually meet again at the Nostrada family for the Yorknew job. The 1999 version extends Gon and Killer's quick trip to Whale Island to see Mito and have a rest before the Yorknew Arc. The pacing is a lot quicker in the 2011 version, and there's just a lot of nice scenes added, with the pacing being very normal in a sense in the 1999 version. They even add one scene where Killer and Gon see Konta again, Gon's friend, who was a bear in the first chapter of the series. There's a padding episode where poachers are trying to kill the bear and his cub. The cub gets injured. Killer wants to kill this cub because at first instinct, all he was ever taught by the Zoldyck family was to kill, and Mito essentially stops Killer in an awesome scene, slapping Killer, saying to him, "Life is precious, this cub's fighting at any means possible to live," and asking Killer, "Were you ever taught that?" And Killer just responds, "I was only taught how to kill." It's a great scene, really worth watching that episode in the 1999 version. And in this whole episode, we just see Killer getting a lot more affection throughout that he's never seen before. Also, during the 1999 version at Whale Island, they add this scene where Mito loses one of her sheets in the wind, where she finds it on the lower levels at the riverside area, and she remembers Jing finding her when she used to run away all the time, and the whole village always wondered where Mito was. This was a very nice scene, just adding this before, which was in the 2011 version as well, but just adding that brief extra scene before the scene is shown where Jing finds Mito in that very awesome scene. In the 2011 version, when Kurapika is at the Nostrada family getting tested to see if he's fit to be a bodyguard, there's a scene where one of the prizes that these potential bodyguards need to get is the Curta eyes, and in the 2011 version, there's just a great reaction from Kurapika that he really hates this. It's a really serious, intense scene with the music, and I think it's just there's a little difference between the 1999 version where they just brush over it. There's not much of a reaction in Kurapika's face in the 1999 version. And briefly after, when the bodyguard tests Kurapika and the other potential bodyguards where they fight, the 1999 version, it's not as quick as the 2011 version. They have a lot more dialogue focus on, do we have to work together as a team versus, or should we fight individually? There's a lot more dialogue before that, whereas in the 2011 version, they just get right into the fight. No explanation whatsoever, just a surprise attack hits them out of nowhere. And most of these, like this one, as I will go on in the video, is because obviously in the 2011 version, Madhouse, they wanted to still adapt the parts that already had been adapted from the 1999 version well, but just get through them a bit quicker to get to the Greed Island and Chimera Ant content that hadn't been adapted yet. In the 1999 version, when Gon and Killer leave Whale Island, there is actually a proper scene of them saying goodbye to Mito and the Grandma, which was not there in the 2011 version. When we arrive at Yorknew City, what we see in the 1999 version is the whole aesthetics and architecture of the town, which is really cool, which wasn't there in the 2011 version of the anime. And if you actually go back to the manga at the start of chapter 70, these pictures, these panels are actually in the manga, which 1999 used to adapt. When Gon and Killer go to the internet cafe in Yorknew City to get an explanation of the Greed Island game with Gon's membership with his Hunter license, the 2011 version adds this really nice scene of going into the menu, and there's obviously the bartender in both versions, but in the 2011 version, the bartender pours a drink for Gon, and Gon tries to grab it like it's an actual drink that can be taken like in VR and drunk, but it's just a simulation and he's really upset. And it's just a really cool scene that they add, which is awesome. Overall, the 1999 version adds a lot of scenes with Melody and Kurapika. There's this one scene where they're down by the river where Melody is examining Kurapika's calm and nice heartbeat currently, but but there's a lot of different times when Krapika is reacting to certain moments with his Kurta clan, with the bodyguards, etc. And Melody notices these differences in heartbeats. So just by adding these different scenes with Melody, they're expanding on Krapika immensely here. This scene wasn't in the manga, but it's just nice padding, just having 1 or 2 minutes just focusing on this in that part of the episode, which was nice. In the 1999 version, after Krapika and the other potential bodyguards come back with the items that the Nostrada family requested, the 1999 version adds this scene where the bodyguard Squaller checks the items before another bodyguard, the main bodyguard for the Nostrada family, Dolzone, checks the items again. So it's completely pointless. This scene wasn't really necessary at all. The next follow-up scene that occurs is a lot more intimidating in the 1999 version. Krapika questions who the attackers might be, any possible leads that Dolzone might have. Dolzone replies that it's none of Krapika's business. He only needs to focus on anyone at all possibly that could attack the boss. He doesn't need to know the characteristics, etc. This is a lot more intimidating, and Dolzone is a lot more angry with Krapika for asking this question in the 1999 version, which is missed in the 2011 version. Next, the 1999 anime extends a panel from the manga where Gon and Killua have an argument after they lose a lot of their money, they don't make a profit that they thought they would with fraudsters at the online auctions, and they actually split up and they have a competition to see who will make more money in the 2 weeks before they meet up with Krapika and Leorio when they come to Yorknew City. Killua goes to a casino and thinks he'd just try and make some quick money, whereas Gon just still is using the same strategy from the online auctions. And it's a hilarious scene, and in the end, Killua loses all his money and Gon only wins 15,000 yen, which is not a lot of money, absolutely. The 1999 version adds this scene with Maluki from chapter 72 of the manga, where he's getting very frustrated that he can't hack or copy the Greed Island memory cartridge, the content inside of it. The only difference is the 1999 scene is longer, and Maluki is more frustrated in this scene compared to the version in the 2011 version, which is a bit quicker. And in the 2011 version, Maluki is more perplexed and frustrated in a sense. There is a scene in both versions where Dolzone is talking to Krapika and the other bodyguards about this former bodyguard who was killed by the Nostrade family for his carelessness, and he was made into a plaster on a frame on the wall. In the 1999 version, it's just a lot more intimidating, where they use this dark setting, pondering piano music OST score, which is just very tragic sounds, and it's just very dark. Whereas in the 2011 version, it's just kind of the happy percussion drum track OST, which doesn't really work to give that serious, sudden vibe to make it a really intense moment. The 1999 version adds a longer scene to the start of the episode where Neon, Dolzone, and Krapika and the other bodyguards are entering Yorknew in a blink, which is actually in the manga, which wasn't included in the 2011 version of the anime. And there's just a lot of exposition added from the bodyguards of them just discussing how they're going to protect the Nostrade family during the auction against potential enemies. The 1999 version adds this amazing ambient desert OST track of introducing the Phantom Troop members, Phaeton, Franklin, Nobunaga, where they're slowly cutting at their faces, revealing them slowly. And this wasn't used at anywhere near means from music standards or slow-mo reveals in the 2011 version. The 2011 version has that great dark gothic choir OST, but there's no real entrance when we see the Phantom Troop characters in the form of the animation. We just get a picture of Shalnak just shown, this is supposedly a Phantom Troop member for the first time. And that is the big difference. The 2011 version just shows the Phantom Troop characters kind of as normal characters, not fodder, but normal characters in a sense, which really undermines their value and importance in the series, definitely. But I will say, when it comes to revealing the boss of the Phantom Troop, Crollo, the 2011 version does do a great job of revealing Crollo for the first time with the music score which is used. But both versions are incredible, introducing Crollo into the series. And it's the same thing when right after Crollo gives Uvo the authority to kill everyone who's in their way at the auction and outside. It's just phenomenal in both versions, with the music used and the voice acting as well. When Leorio arrives in Yorknew City, the 1999 version adds this scene of him bargaining to the extreme, trying to get Gon and Killua cheaper prices on good quality phones. And this panel is actually in the manga to the actual price points that was used, that 1999 copies perfectly, which was actually skipped in the 2011 version. Where in the 2011 version, Leoro, after they've walked off, bought the phones, he just mentions that was a great price that they bought for the phones. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts to this topic down below. And if you want to see another video, I will probably most likely do part 2 soon. I'll watch the rest of the Yorknew Arc. Like the video, comment and subscribe, and smack that notification bell so my channel gets out of the abyss of dead YouTube channels. Thanks, have an awesome day.